continue to have to watch that. But once again, looks like we've got another inbound tornado warning there as well. But Henderson, this is the most potent storm on the radar currently, and we are continuing to see.
Now let me give a reset. Go ahead, Carson. Let you get that real quick. We now have a secondary warning too. Andrew's going to get set for that one. That's the one that's coming out of Freestone County, and this will move into Anderson and Henderson County. So we've got two storms. We're going to really focus in, though, on Rusk County because the storm that's approaching Anderson and Henderson County is still back in Freestone County at this current moment. So focus right now will really be on the storm that's in Rusk County, still a confirmed tornado that we have on the ground there at this current moment. And the storm is moving in between highways 43 and highway 79. And it is getting closer to highway 43. We just got a report that debris, as we showed you on the debris detector, falling now west of Church Hill. Storm spotter seeing that right at this moment. So we've got two things ongoing here. Let's go back over to the Rusk County storm. That's the one we need to stay with here at this moment.
Okay, so let's, guys, back in PCR, let's take this back to Weather 1. I've got a storm track I do want to show you, and here are the arrival times. We got us at 1:50 right now, 1:51 rather. Churchill 1:55, 3 minutes, go now. Get underground or get to your interior safe room. I hope you have a plan in place. Arbor 2:18, Liberty at 2:03. So you've got about 3, maybe 4 minutes. Tatum 2:23, Beckville 2:26, Center Point 2:30, Harris Chapel at 2:33, Ryderville at 2:35. As mentioned, debris reported. Tornado is down to the west of Churchill, and that is exactly where the focus is here in Rusk County. But once again, it does look like this tornado is going to be down between New Prospect there and Churchill, where those greens are coming together with those reds. And this will be moving over County Road 265, County Road 333, that little intersection near the community of Churchill. So we will have to keep a close eye on that. Once again, the area of concern, we'll circle this for you, is going to be to the north of U.S. Highway 79, as Marcus alluded to, and then also near U.S. Highway, I think it's 43, and moving in the direction of Churchill. But once again, detecting debris right now, and this is moving off to the north and to the northeast. So if you live in Liberty, you've got a little more lead time with this, but go now. Obviously, if you live in Churchill, you need to go right now. But downstream of this warning, if this storm does not let up, it's still moving into a favorable environment. If this storm does not let up and you do live in the community of Beckville, you've got some time to get to a safe place. A safe place is not a mobile home. A safe place is not right by a window. A safe place is inside a sturdy shelter and inside the first floor of the house. Maybe you've got a friend, if you live in an apartment complex, on the first floor of your house. Make sure you get down into their interior room, and that will be the safest place to be during a tornado. But it's the bathroom on the first floor. Maybe it is a interior room like a pantry or a closet or something like that. So get to your safe place, and if you have time, grab a helmet. If you don't, like if you live in Churchill right now, just make sure you get to that safe place, and you will be okay during this tornado-warned storm. But once again, the area of concern right now is inbound to Churchill. It might miss where we have Churchill marked just to the south because the radar indicates that it's just off to the north right there. But once again, this continues to move off to the north and to the northeast. So we will continue to keep an eye. Again, if you're just now joining us on KETK or Fox 51, we do have a confirmed tornado on the ground in eastern Rusk County. Marcus?
Okay, we are now at a considerable tornado tag here. So considerable damage threat happening right now northeast of Henderson in between Prospect and Chapel Hill. Weather Service also noting this storm may go in between Beckville and Tatum. So Rusk County still under the threat right now, but a significant tornado looks to be in progress now. Moving northeast at 25 Durgan. Next in line near Liberty. It's going to go just north of the Chapel or Churchill area, excuse me, but it's very close to Highway 43 at this current moment. Can we show Weather 2 for a quick second? You can clearly see the debris that is being detected inside the storm. He'll get it in just a second, but that is located near New Prospect and Churchill. There it is right there, and that is the debris that's being lofted up inside the storm. So this is non-precipitation. These are objects, buildings, structures. That's what is happening there with the debris detector. Carson?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I've seen some pretty intense signature. This is a very clean signature right here, but a considerable tornado is on the ground to the northwest of Churchill, and it looks like it's just to the south of State Highway 43 East. So as meteorologists, we can predict that this will likely stay anywhere along State Highway 43 East, and this will continue to move in this general direction. So it will probably, within the next 2 or 3 minutes, cross County Road 324 in eastern Rusk County, County Road 384 to the west of Liberty, and what the storm spotters have noted is it's to the northwest of Churchill. So, Durgan, I know you guys are not in the polygon right now, but you do need to be taking your storm precautions, but because this storm is probably less than 10 minutes away from you. So take those tornado precautions right now. Get into your safe spot. Get into that interior room. Put a helmet on. Put those closed-toed shoes on wherever your safe place is. But once again, there's your considerable tornado threat, and it's still not letting up in any way or fashion. So this will probably be one of those long track supercell thunderstorms that is moving to the north and to the northeast. So if you live in the community of Durgan, put that plan in place right now. This tornado is heading right for you. Again, this tornado is down on the ground. This is the real thing, folks. So this will cause, this will create a considerable threat, rather, for the community of Durgan. Now, Andrew's going to put a quick storm track on that. So here are some of the arrival times. Marcus mentioned Tatum and Beckville. Those are some of the major cities, but some of the smaller cities, Liberty 203, Durgan at 207, Stewart at 208, Mayflower at 215, Arbor at 217, Tatum 221, Beckville 225, Centerpoint at 229, Harris, Chapel at 231 as well. So again, these cities, it is 1:57 right now. Give it about 30 or so minutes. You might get it into Stewart Hill, but at 1:57, Liberty, you guys are about 5 or so minutes away. Durgan 207, that is about 10 minutes away. Stewart about 11 minutes away. Mayflower at about 2:15. Tatum at about 2:21. Beckville at 2:25. Centerpoint at 2:29. Again, very dangerous situation with this tornado on the ground, and they will have to warn this downstream, I would assume, given the fact that we do have this signature. But if you are in this polygon right here, looks like Farm to Market Road 2658, County Road 394, seek shelter now. This is tracking right along State Highway 43 East. State Highway 43 East gets you very close to Tatum, Texas there, maybe to the northwest of Arbor, Liberty. Some lightning being detected there. Liberty, you guys in Liberty need to be in your storm shelter right now, and this will continue to move off to the north and to the northeast. So we look at the rotation, still not letting up by any stretch of the imagination. And again, those very tight greens, those very tight reds, confirmed tornado. And I would put it between County Road 326 and County Road 394. There can be slight variations on the radar site, but once again, we could see this, a little further north, a little further south. It doesn't matter. If you are in this polygon, we need to be taking this very seriously, and you need to be taking your storm shelter. Marcus?
Okay, let's get this reset. That way you can go back to your weather 2, and you're going to take weather 1 here. Again, tornado on the ground here near New Prospect, east of New Prospect, and near Church Hill at this time. We're getting close to the expiration of this, and we're probably going to easily see a new tornado warning. Also moving toward Martin Lake there in far east section portions of Rusk County as well. So Panola County, you need to be prepared for this storm. This is going to come very close to Tatum and Beckville. I would probably say more so Beckville than Tatum, but we're going to see what the new warning will entail here in just a moment. But as far as we know, still a significant threat ongoing at this point. Let me also quickly make mention we have a tornado warning southwest Henderson County, northwest Anderson County. When that storm gets closer into those two counties, it's in Limestone right now, or Freestone, excuse me, we will start tracking that storm a little bit more carefully, but we need to stay here on this particular storm that's moving through Rusk County and about to move into Panola County. So Carson, we'll give it back to you. You're going to get control back with Weather One also.
All right. Absolutely, Marcus. And again, this is an observed, confirmed tornado. The damage threat is considerable, and they will be warning this downstream here pretty soon. I do want to get an idea of the motion of this storm, so let me go ahead and put this in motion for you. Let's get it back to reflectivity for just a second. So let's kind of get an idea of where this is tracking. So it's tracking generally to the northeast, and Marcus is right. In Beckville, you need to be prepared because this is likely to be warned downstream at this point as it moves to the northeast of Liberty, or northeast of Churchill, and to the northeast or in the vicinity of Liberty. But again, the main threat is to the south of State Highway 43. And this will continue to be the storm that we watch at least over the next few minutes as long as this tornado is on the ground. So we will continue to see this move into Panola County here in the not too distant future. But there you go. There's the polygon right there. The main threat with this storm remains right here near the Liberty vicinity. Is it Durgan or is it Durgin, Marcus?
I would go with Durgan. It could be wrong, but the folks know in this area.
Yeah, folks know. You need to be taking seriously. That doesn't matter. You can email us later. It doesn't matter. But what does matter is you getting in your safe spot right now as this moves into the community of Durgan. Some lightning strikes being detected within the storm, and here we go. Yep, new tornado warning.
They're still calling it an observed tornado. It may have briefly lifted, but still a threat for an ongoing tornado based off of what we've seen. I think they're doing the right thing here, still calling it an observed. Moving now east at 30 miles an hour, located 8 miles southwest of Tatum. So Beckville, in the path of this storm, this is staying well north of Carthage.
Yep. So well north of Carthage, and again, this will include Panola County. So here is the new polygon. We'll go ahead and show reflectivity just to show you and give you a better idea of who exactly is in the warning. So circulation is near Durgan. Arbor, Harris Chapel, Beckville, you guys are within this polygon. Again, these storms can change courses just a little bit. They can move east-northeast. They weaken a little bit. They can move further up to the north and to the east. But you need to be taking into consideration where this polygon is. It looks like Mayflower, you guys are going to be out of the warning. But Harris Chapel, Stewart Hill, Beckville, and Arbor, you guys are in this tornado warning at this point. And again, this is an observed tornado, so it has been confirmed on the ground, and I'll show you exactly where this tornado is. But again, Durgan, parts of County Road, it looks like 2145. And there you go. We'll circle the area of greatest concern right now, and it's right over Liberty and heading inbound to Durgan. So this will continue to be a threatening storm, a dangerous storm, and it will move into western Panola County here along County Line Road here in the next few minutes. But if you live in Beckville, you need to be taking your tornado precautions because this is a confirmed, observed tornado that is on the ground that is doing a little bit of damage. Is the correlation coefficient still showing what it's been showing?
Looks like the debris has maybe come down just a bit. But the storm could still be cycling around. It wasn't the bright green that we had a little bit earlier, but still possible that we still could have maybe a small tornado in progress there. But either way, the debris, yes, is still showing that. Let me give a quick update as well. The Henderson County tornado warning canceled by the National Weather Service. So tornado threat has decreased there. We're still under the watch, but the tornado threat there and that storm that's in Freestone County has decreased, and they've canceled that warning. So this is the only tornado warning ongoing. Carson.
All right, so all focus will be on this warning that is about to cross into parts of Panola County. But Beckville, you guys are in line with this storm. County Line Road right there, this will continue to progress further and further off to the south, or off to the north and to the northeast. And it looks like it's picked up steam as well, hasn't it?
Yes, northeast at 30. Or I'm sorry, not northeast, east at 30.
East at 30
Originally it was
miles
going
per hour.
northeast, now it's east at 30.
East at 30. So main circulation to the south of Durgan right now. We will track this to the northeast, or the east rather, at 30 miles per hour. So let's go ahead and put that up on the screen real quick. And there we go. That's a pretty good estimation. So Beckville 218, that gives you about 14 minutes to get in your storm shelter. This is an observed tornado, so you have some time to go grab that helmet if you know exactly where it is. Get to your interior room. Maybe you live in an apartment in Beckville. Go ahead, knock on your neighbor's door, knock on your downstairs neighbor's door, and allow them to invite you in. You should be good friends, and they will understand the situation too. And maybe you can help them out. Be the hero in this case, and let anybody know that's in the path of this storm that there is a tornado that's on the ground that's heading towards folks in the Beckville area. So definitely a good thing to do there. But once again, it's interior room. Maybe it's a closet. Maybe it's a pantry. Maybe it's a basement if you're lucky enough to have one. Basement's hard to come by due to the water table, but it's any of those safe places right there. So this is the tornado warned storm that continues to cross the lake and county road right there. It's going to move close to the Arbor area, and it's going to move into Beckville here in the not too distant future. Hopefully this has more of an east-northeast component to it, that it misses the populated part of Beckville, but you've got to treat it like it's not going to do that, since Beckville, you guys are in the heart of the polygon right now. But once again, the most intense part of this storm remains to the west of Arbor, to the south of Durgan. It is where the greens, which are an indication that winds are going towards the radar, and those reds going away from the radar, that's where the main circulation is at this point. Let's go ahead and zoom in, and I want to give you an idea of some of the roadways that are in the path of this storm real quick. So it is crossing County Line Road. It's going to move into western Panola County with that. It's going to move into Armour. County Road 357, County Road 248 is in there. County Road 257, as I just mentioned. If it does track a little further off to the north, Tatum, I would take your storm precautions. It does look like the storm is going to pass just to your south, but take your storm precautions anyway, because these storms can wobble just a little bit. You guys are in the polygon anyway, and you're probably seeing an intense storm as it is that you do want to seek shelter from. But once again, Tatum, parts of State Highway 149 there. State Highway 149, of course, runs from Tatum into Beckville right there. County Road 241, County Road 248. You guys are in line with this storm, and this tornado continuing to push in the direction of Beckville. So
Beckville needs to be safe spot.
Yep.
Right now. It appears that we still have a very strong couplet there on the radar, and this could be, produce another tornado, if not still on the ground here at any moment.
Yep, absolutely. And what Marcus is talking about is sometimes these tornadoes, they'll cycle, they'll touch down, they'll lift back up, and then they'll touch down again. And this could be what it's doing, but definitely still a very strong sign that we do have a tornado that is on the ground, and it continues to move in the direction of Beckville. But if you live in Arbor, Beckville, safe spot right now. And just looking at the cycle of this storm right here, we put this in motion, showing no signs of weakening. At least I don't see any signs of weakening. This is rain wrapped as well. Where that rotation marker is right in the heart of a lot of heavy rain. So don't even think about it if you're in Beckville trying to look off to the west to see if you can see this thing, because the fact is you won't be able to see this thing. We got a lot of Gulf moisture, and that has really increased the rain coverage. But once again, your rotation marker, which is very strong, our weather product, anytime when this is a little bit shorter, that means it's closer to the radar site, and it's a very strong couplet on the radar, which means a very good chance that a tornado is on the ground doing some damage. So let's get you back to where we are seeing that rotation marker. And here we go. The correlation coefficient as what we've been using over the last couple of about 30 minutes or so. The rotation, the debris detector rather, and it's this region right here along County Line Road. That is what is creating that issue right now with debris being lofted in the air. That change in colors is what's doing it currently. Those yellows on the outside, you see those reds. Anytime you see a change in color like that, chances are you are seeing a damaging tornado on the ground. Maybe it's moving through some trees. That could be trees that are being lofted in the atmosphere. Maybe that could be some roof shingles or just some dirt that's being kicked up by the tornado. But regardless, the indication is that this is right along County Road, about to move into parts of Arbor. But let's go ahead and show you where exactly that rotation is. And as I mentioned, right along County Road at this point. Beckville, you guys are on the screen, and that is not a far distance. I can measure the distance between Beckville and where this rotation is, hopefully. And again, that's only about 4.5, maybe 5 miles tops, if I'm giving you a little bit of grace. But this storm is 5 miles to the northwest of Beckville and moving at a rate of, we'll call it 30, 35 miles per hour. That is not a lot of time, and it just got even closer to Beckville. But again, this storm about to move through Arbor. That's where your rotation's being detected, right along County Road 257 now. Some lightning being detected as well. But there's your rotation couplet, and here is the community of Beckville. And now we're going to stay on this storm as long as it is a threat to some of these cities here in Panola County. But Beckville, you know, I'm crossing my fingers for you guys. You need to be in your storm shelter as it is, because you're in the polygon and you've been alerted now that there is a tornado on the ground. Hopefully that this will cross between Tatum and Beckville and miss the city completely. So we can hope and pray that that is the case. But again, very strong couplet, greens and reds coming together, and this continues to move off to the east. Anything else from the National Weather Service, guys?
Currently not at this time. I think it's important to mention that while there's just steady rain in Beckville currently at the moment, the worst of it is about to move in your direction, and this rotating, potentially tornadic storm on the ground is going to be very hard to see because it is rain wrapped. There is so much precipitation currently in this area. So if you are in Beckville, you need to be seeking shelter at this point. If you're down in Carthage, you need to stay put at this time. You're trying to go up 149. Now is not the time to get up that way. I'm sure that the schools here, Beckville ISD, following their tornado procedure here at this moment. Let's let them do what they are doing to keep our kids safe here at this current time, and then let's let this storm pass. But right now, we've got to treat this as if it is still a confirmed tornado. Very strong wind signatures that we're finding with bright reds and bright greens going away from the radar site, an indication that a tornado could still be on the ground, or we have some very strong rotation very close, and we've got a great view of it because of our proximity to the radar site, and we were able to see it earlier back through portions of the Rusk County area. So essentially now moving in to Panola County as we speak, and very close to Beckville.
Yeah, very, very close to Beckville indeed. Again, this is what Marcus is alluding to. Very heavy rain falling right now just to the west of Beckville, so there is no way that you can see this tornado coming. I've got the area of concern circled there, and this is where the area of circulation is. Notice those bright reds, bright pinks. You're not going to be able to see this because that's where that area of rotation, it is right over Arbor. Arbor, of course, that's a Latin root for the word tree, but once again, this is probably picking up and doing some damage to some trees. That's where the tornado is. So Beckville, you guys need to be in your storm safe place at this point as this confirmed and observed tornado continues to push in your direction. A little further downstream from this, of course, the red polygon kind of hard to see, but this goes all the way out to Grand Bluff, almost to Walnut Grove right there, just to the northwest of Walnut Grove. Also includes Harris Chapel and Stewart Hill. So we will we'll zoom in once again to some of these streets, and you can see the most populated area of Beckville. You guys are just to the south and east of the of the circulation right there. So there it is. It is coming in. And this very well, I mean, it could be here, it could be here, but it is in this general direction. So this storm is about to move through Beckville, and we will need to be watching our correlation coefficients to see if they pick up as this moves and crosses State Highway 149. Again, if you live in Carthage, maybe you're commuting, as Marcus mentioned. Do not drive right now, especially if you're driving off to the north here, because this is a very intense storm, and this will be an issue here over at least the next 30 or so minutes. Very small warning polygon right now, but it's very important to note that this storm is moving in the direction of Beckville. If not, it will impact somewhere just to the north on State Highway 149. But the current circulation continues to move right over the intersection of County Road 257 and County Road 256 right there. So we're going to take off the lightning because there's so much lightning, it's kind of hard to tell where exactly the circulation is. But again, very intense storm. You can probably figure that out by the lightning that's being detected. But this rotation is right here, just to the east of County Road 256. So 256, County Road 257, any of these little neighborhoods, maybe you've got some property there, not the place to be right now as this storm continues to track. It is going to cross State Highway 149 here, probably within the next few minutes. But that is the area of concern. We'll circle it one more time for you. And I would be getting ready if you are in Harris Chapel currently. But once again, there's your area of concern where the greens are meeting the reds. Panola County, this expires at 2:30. This may be extended beyond that. But here it comes inbound to Beckville. So Beckville, you're probably feeling that pressure change right now when there's a tornadic circulation on the ground. All right, Andrew?
Go ahead, turn your mic on, make sure it's on.
Yeah, so they're continuing the tornado warning just for Panola County now. So Rusk County has been taken out of the warning. It is still observed, though. They're still tagging it as observed. And they're starting to see signs of debris being lofted again between Tatum and Beckville.
So Tatum and Beckville. So Tatum and Beckville, they're separated by State Highway 149. So there's debris evidently being lofted between the two cities there. It would not be good news because we have debris being lofted, but hopefully this is going to miss the most populated part of Beckville. But you need to stay in your storm shelter at least the next few minutes. But observed tornado continuing to track to the east, and the new polygon, it's a little bit of a larger polygon now. And why I say that is these storms can change track pretty quickly. They can wobble north, they can wobble east, they can even wobble southeast in some cases when they're really intense. Harris Chapel, Stewart Hill, to the northwest of Walnut Grove, you guys are in the warning, but still an observed tornado. And Andrew was talking about debris being lofted in the air. So let's go ahead and zoom in on that spot we were just at. And we'll pop up what's called the correlation coefficient. We've been showing this a few times, but the correlation coefficient will give us an idea of what we are seeing. But there you go. Anytime you see that color change, those yellows and those greens, that is where we are seeing that debris potentially being lofted up in the air. And hopefully it's just trees, hopefully it's not structures, but this is an indication that this long track tornado that supposedly has been on the ground for the last 30 or so minutes continues to track from just to the west of State Highway 149 right there. It will cross that state highway and move into the general direction of Harris Chapel and Stewart Hill. But there it is right there, a very strong couplet of rotation, and that will move west to east as it is doing so right now. Meteorologist Andrew Samet continues to keep you updated on social media. Meteorologist Marcus Bagwell is here as well, but just to the north of Beckville. Now, if the radar presentation was accurate, which mostly, in most cases, it is at this point, this would be good news because it is moving to the north of the most populated area in Beckville and to the south of the most populated area in Tatum, which is not in the warning. Marcus?
Okay, Weather Service saying debris being lofted up again. You're showing it right there. And also a cell northwest of Mount Enterprise developing some rotation too. So we're going to have to watch for that one as well. But we continue with a confirmed tornado just northwest of Beckville crossing over 149. So if you're in Tatum or Beckville, you need to stay put. stay put for the time being. We got to get this storm to
Absolutely.
come past. We have damage reports going back inside of Rusk County at this time, so certainly the potential is there for more damage to occur with this confirmed tornado that continues.
Yeah, Marcus, I don't know if you can confirm this, but I heard star testing was going on today, too.
I've heard some of that as well. I can't 100% confirm that, but yeah, it's a very important time for our students.
The kiddos need to be sheltered in place. That's why the state always has you go through the drills for this situation, because remember, guys, it's 2/19. We're getting close to the point where we're going to start to release from school. So my best advice is keep the students sheltered if there is a tornado warning that has been issued. So between Beckville and Tatum, as Marcus mentioned, this is the area of concern. Debris continues to be lofted in the air right along 149. And if you are trying to travel, maybe you're trying to pick up your kids from school, I would not do that because this is a very dangerous situation along 149. Of course, the two cities and the residents of the two cities that end up using that road are in Beckville and Tatum if you're commuting to get your kids home from school. But the schools will do the best job they can to keep your students safe, and they always have those duck and cover drills for this reason. But once again, we are continuing with this confirmed and observed tornado. Those yellows, those greens, those are different sized debris being lofted in the air, different sized debris being lofted in the air, and this continues on its east-northeast track. Now, the next road this storm is going to cross is going to be Farm to Market Road 959 there, Farm to Market Road 1794, Harris Chapel. If you live in Harris Chapel, you need to be sheltering in place right now. County Road 267, that's also going to be a road where some people may live off of, and then Grand Bluff eventually. You may end up missing this storm just off to the south, but you need to be sheltering as well. But the primary concern, we've got the debris detector, and it's detecting debris, y'all, right here in this yellow and green shaded region, right along State Highway 149, and that will continue to move off to the north and to the east. U.S. Highway 59, if you're traveling along there, as Marcus mentioned, people along U.S. Highway 59 will pick up some of these cities here. U.S. Highway 59, if you do plan on traveling that road, maybe you live in Walnut Grove, maybe you live in Carthage there as well, I would stay put because this storm will soon cross that highway right there. So we will continue to keep a close eye on that. But the most concerning part of this storm looks to have missed Beckville off to the north. But Beckville, I still want you to stay in your shelter until the National Weather Service trims the warning off. I would say for right now, it looks like the tornado circulation's well to the east of Arbor. So that is good news there in eastern Panola County. And you still should probably stay put right now because we got a lot of heavy rain in the area and pretty intense
100% agree. Yeah, and strong winds even on the wraparound side of this tornado that is still confirmed by the radar. You can still get some wraparound winds, 40, 50, 60 miles an hour. So it's still good to remain in place there currently at this time.
Absolutely.
While the center of the storm is just north of you.
You know, absolutely. And this is what we're looking at on radar too, Marcus. Tons of heavy rain, a lot of lightning strikes as well. So we will continue to see that for probably the next 30 minutes to an hour. So if you're in Panola County, I would just shelter in place regardless of where the county is because the entire county, this will be widespread rain. You will get that widespread rain eventually. But again, main point of concern, getting right back to it, is this tornado that is still observed on the ground moving just to the north of Beckville. Very strong signature there on radar. It's crossing, it looks like Farm to Market Road 959 at this point. So it is going to be right in this general area right here. We'll take it off the radar loop right there, but it continues to move directly in the path of Stewart Hill at this point and will continue to do so. And they're probably going to have to reissue this warning too because this storm is not showing any signs of letting up. So downstream, I would be prepared. That means if you live in eastern Panola County, maybe extreme southeastern Harrison County as well, this storm is heading in your direction right here. But this is the main area of concern. We have those reds, we have those greens. The greens, of course, going towards the radar site, inbound to Shreveport, outbound winds going away from the Shreveport radar site to the north and to the east. So a very strong circulation there. Obviously, we've had debris being lofted up in the air and that dual polarization. Maybe not quite as an intense of a signature as what we once have, but again, this has been one of those storms where it's wrapped up real quickly, it's weakened a little bit, and it's wrapped up real quickly once again. But this change in color here is still an indication that we are seeing those strong to severe winds, strong to severe tornado winds as well there in the yellow. So once again, that looks to be right along County Road 266. Where those yellows are, that difference between the red and the yellow, that's different sized debris being lofted in the air at this point, and that will continue to push off to the north and to the east. That puts County Road 266 at risk. We've been saying Stewart Hill, County Road 265, Farm to Market Road 1794, and then County Road 267. If you live along any of those roads, there's probably not a ton of people, but if you do, then you need to be getting in your shelter right now, because this is a very intense storm that's moving in your direction. Confirmed tornado, which means it is down. It's been observed. It's been observed by radar, and then the storm spotters in Henderson observed it to the east of town, and it's been tracking very close to State Highway 43 into the north of Highway 79. But there is your main storm. If you've watched us long enough, you know that we do talk about the storm relative velocity. Again, those are those inbound and those outbound winds. Green's inbound, reds are outbounds, and this is right over the Stewart Hill area right now. And it doesn't look quite as intense as it once was. The colors aren't quite as bright, but this still needs to be taken very seriously. If you live anywhere along US Highway 59, even though you're not under a tornado warning yet, that's probably going to change here within the next 5 minutes, and you will be under a tornado warning. So I would seek shelter right now. Get that helmet. Make sure you put on tennis shoes. I've got tennis shoes on today. Make sure you put on your tennis shoes as well, because this has already produced some damage and will continue to do so as long as this tornado is on the ground. But once again, Stewart Hill about to get to Highway 59 north as you take it out of Carthage, Walnut Grove, and Grand Bluff. National Weather Service likely to reissue this tornado warning once it gets out of this red polygon right here.
Yeah, and it's very close. With the warning set to expire here in just moments, they are going to reissue a tornado warning. This time, it's going to be radar indicated. So we'll see this pop up here in just a moment. It does look like the tornado has lifted for the time being.
Good.
But it's near Starrett Hill, northwest of Grand Bluff, and that's going to be moving to the east at 30 miles an hour. This continues to stay north of Carthage, north of Carthage.
Yeah, which is the county seat there in Panola County as well. But once again, you know, Marcus, as you've been alluding to and doing a great job of doing it, stay in place. If you're traveling along US Highway 59 now, this is not the time to be traveling north or southbound, especially northbound from Carthage, because we have a lot of heavy rain and the potential of that tornado wrapping back up. So maybe you got to go to Carthage, maybe you're going back to Shreveport from work. Not the time to be traveling along US Highway 259. But once again, that circulation just to the west of 59, we'll go ahead and pop up our velocities just to show you exactly where it is.
Okay, as you talk about that, we are getting a new tornado warning coming out from Mount Enterprise. Looks like a tornado reported by law enforcement near Mount Enterprise. So this one will become a very quick confirmed tornado northwest of Mount Enterprise. So we've got two ongoing storms here at this moment.
So do we want to pivot to that one, Mount Enterprise? It's a little closer to...
Yes, let's pivot to that one, since this one has lifted, the one we've been on in Panola County. That one's lifted for now. This one looks like that we may have a confirmed. Right now, radar indicated at this point, but storm spotters are confirming that we have a tornado that has touched down. That would be from the law enforcement area near Texas Highway 1798. So
1798.
Confirmed by law enforcement. That is now a confirmed tornado. It issued and now confirmed.
So that's going to be very close to the Minden area based on where this polygon is at this point. So another confirmed tornado on the ground, a little closer to Henderson, but Mount Enterprise this time. So it's well to the south of Henderson in southern Rusk County. And local law enforcement, they have confirmed this tornado near Mount Enterprise. And Mount Enterprise has had terrible luck with tornadoes, but it does look like this will miss Mount Enterprise off to the north and to the northeast. But there's US Highway 259. We will search for this circulation right now. And there you go, a very tight circulation that looks like Farm to Market Road 95 there. And it does look like this will continue to intensify just a little bit. But right in this vicinity, that is where we are seeing that confirmed tornado at this point. So let me go ahead and zoom out just to give you a better picture of what's happening. This is the polygon. This is the area of concern. And it looks like that will probably include northwestern Shelby County there in Bryce. Dotson also really tracking right along. I want to let's go ahead and see what that road is just so I don't mess this up right here. Okay, State Highway 235. Okay, that's what I thought it was, but I just wanted to confirm. But there you go, Farm to Market Road 1798.
Hey, Carson.
Yes, Marcus?
Hey, I just want to let you know, we just got this from Weather Service that we are seeing debris again being lofted up in Mount Enterprise, north of Mount Enterprise.
Now, north of Mount Enterprise.
Yes. So
and what was the road on that one more time?
1798.
1798. There it is right there. 1798. Farm to Market Road 1798. That's where those greens and those reds are coming together. And as the National Weather Service alluded to, it does look like we have debris being lofted in the air. And I would be guessing that that would be the case just to the east of Farm to Market Road 95. We get storm reports out of Minden all the time. This should be just east of Minden. Assuming this didn't do any damage to Minden, it's just to the east of Minden. And that color change there, again, the difference between the reds and the yellows, that would be additional debris being lofted. So Mount Enterprise, maybe you work in Carthage, but you go, you live in Mount Enterprise or something like that. State Highway 315, off limits right now. Just don't do it. Don't go northeastbound along State Highway 315 because this is going to be very, very close to the road there. And it does look like it will eventually cross State Highway 315 as it moves to the east. But another dangerous storm to the northeast of Mount Enterprise. We'll go ahead and show you where Mount Enterprise is in conjunction to this tornado, but there it is. Mount Enterprise, downtown Mount Enterprise rather, is out of the tornado warning. In this red polygon right here, that is where the tornado warning is, and this storm continues to track over State Highway 315 rather, right there. But once again, very ominous return there right on the radar site. And this is a confirmed tornado that will continue to move in the direction of Dotson here in the not too distant future. What was the storm tracking at, Marcus? How fast?
It's moving east 20 miles per hour.
Moving east at 20 miles per hour. So we will track it from that circulation right there. Very well-defined hook on the reflectivity. So we will have to watch out for that. Just to the east or south of Brackfield, this looks like it will include the community of Dotson and Bryce, but we get this to the east at about 30 miles per hour. And here are some of your arrival times. It doesn't look like we have any cities, so we're going to need to requery that on Max 2 to get an accurate track and to include some of these cities that are included on this tornado warning. But County Road 3127 in the warning right now. And then as you look further off to the east, Dotson, we've had a couple of tornado warnings there in the past. You guys will be in the path of this storm. But debris being lofted in the air, and again, this is another tornado that unfortunately is down, so we will need to keep a close eye on that. It looks like the debris is being lofted in the air right here. Anytime you see those yellows stand out, anytime you see kind of this square form, that is an indication that we do have debris that is moving from west to east, and the tornado is so strong that, you know, little trees, maybe roof shingles, maybe branches, or any other types of debris will be being lofted up in the air and detected by radar. And it's just the difference in objects. That's what the radar is telling us. It looks like it has intensified just a little bit now to the west of State Highway 315. But County Road 165, it looks like, is in the path of this storm, and this will continue to move a little further off to the east of State Highway 315 here in the not too distant future. But a confirmed tornado. This does include parts of Rusk County right now, and it looks like, they may have to trim this warning or include northern parts of or western parts of Panola County, maybe a little further north than what it's indicating, because it does look like on the track of this storm, it continues to move kind of on a northeasterly trajectory there. But regardless of where it goes, I would say Brackfield pointing off to the south, Dotson, Clayton eventually. You guys need to be in your storm shelter right now, given the fact that we do have a confirmed tornado on the ground. It will cross the county line here in the next few minutes between Rusk and Panola County. So we will have to watch out for that. It looks like the storm behind it looks like it's being kind of sucked into the storm as well. That will be interesting to see how this affects the general direction of this storm that is in western Panola County at this point. It looks like, no, they have not trimmed the warning, but the storm beginning to cross State Highway 315 is what we've previously mentioned, and that will be moving eastbound, perhaps missing Dotson and Panola County just off to the north. But as this continues to track eastward, we will continue to see that threat of a tornado. But looking at some of our storm relative velocity, it's still, quite a good rotation marker right there. But I would say this is probably not quite as strong as what we saw earlier, but nonetheless, it's a confirmed tornado. These storms cycle all the time, so just because it's not as intense now, which, the debris detector makes me think a little differently on that. But
we're having a harder time seeing it on the velocities or our wind detector that you're showing there. But the debris detector, it's a little behind from what Carson was just showing you there with the wind detector, but that was a clear sign. At this moment, I would say probably 2-3 minutes ago, as it was crossing 315, that's where we are. That's where we've had the debris lofted up, and we should see that update here momentarily. It just takes a moment for that to process. Still, we need to treat it with a tornado on the ground. Weather Service confirming that too, as it is observed.
And that's the latest information that we have right now. And that green showing up, anytime you see the greens and especially the blues showing up, that means it's bigger debris being lofted up in the air, and that's something that we need to watch out for. But along State Highway 315, that is where the circulation is, and it's this area that I'm watching. Maybe you have no idea what I'm talking about as far as that debris tracker goes, but there we go. That is the danger spot that we have, and this will continue to track off to the north and to the east. Hopefully, it can miss Dotson just off to the north. There's the latest scan, but hopefully it misses Dotson just off to the north and to the east, and it's likely to track off to the northeast, parallel to where State Highway 315 is. So if you live to the south of State Highway 315, for example, County Road 164, County Road 165, and then County Road, let's see what that road is right in there, but County Road looks like 163 to the south of Long Branch. So if you're in the polygon, which does include southwestern Panola County, and you live to the south of State Highway 315, even along State Highway 315, you need to be seeking shelter at this point. And once again, these storms have really not showed any signs of letting up. We've been tracking these for the majority of the day. There's your hook echo, by the way, as you look at the storm as it crosses into Panola County. Anytime you see a little notch, most of our viewers know what the hook echo is, but anytime you see this little notch for people that have just moved here, that is when we are seeing rotation, some inbound and outbound winds. So that tornado, if it's anywhere, the rotation is occurring right in this area right here. So definitely some spin associated with this storm, as what we have been seeing on our debris tracker, some debris being lofted up in the air. It's mainly trees in this part of the county, but there are a few structures. Some people like living out, on a nice road, just peace and quiet. I don't blame them. It is a very nice place to go and maybe go fish in some of the local ponds, but still lofting debris up in the air regardless of how many structures are there. But there it is right there. The radar return, it's a little ahead of our debris tracker, but this is the region that I am most concerned with. And what will happen with some of these storms is it will end up, forming what's called a debris ball on our radar. And that might be trying to happen, especially given, that this is kind of looking like just a little bit of a ball right here to the east of County Road 3125 South. And this will continue to move in the direction if it looks like Clayton. So what we have seen with these storms is these storms have helped, really not weakened very much. And the National Weather Service then needs to go in and extend these warnings out. So if you're looking off to the southwest of Clayton, if you live in Clayton, looking off to the southwest of it, you might want to be taking your tornado precautions. Now, maybe you don't live in southwestern Panola County. Maybe you live in Carthage, which is on the screen right now. We'll go ahead and measure it out for you. It's not that far away from Carthage. And based on the track, we'll kind of play this out here just to get an idea of the direction it's heading. But if you live in Carthage right now, you've kind of been lucky in between tornado warnings. But, I have to say, if this thing holds together for long enough, then this will be tracking in the direction of Carthage. So we'll go ahead and pause it. And let's go ahead and measure how far it is from Carthage. So you still have a considerable amount of time. I would say about a half hour in Carthage before this would make it. It's about 16 miles. This storm is tracking northeast at 30. And this will be in the area probably within the next 30 or so minutes. But the big question mark right now is, will we still have a tornado on the ground? And that's the latest information that we have, that we do have a confirmed tornado on the ground right where this little hook is on the north end of the polygon, just to the south of Long Branch along State Highway 315. But the most dangerous part of this storm is about 16 miles away from Carthage. Given the fact that it's tracking to the northeast, maybe the east-northeast at times, at 30 miles per hour, I give this about 30 minutes for it to be in Carthage. So let's go ahead and put a storm track on the most dangerous part of this storm. I've wanted to do this for a little bit, but let's go ahead and get that done into the northeast there. And again, this may pivot a little bit further to the east if the storm were to strengthen. But, my guesstimation was 30 minutes. This guesstimation is about 3:12. So I would be preparing right now, if you live in Carthage, get to that safe space, put on a helmet, and make sure you're calling your friends. If you're listening to us from Tyler or Henderson that live in Carthage, make sure you're calling your friends and say, hey, the weather team is saying that a tornado may be heading in your direction. Caution them, give them plenty of lead time, because these tornado warnings have been being issued downstream of the initial warnings that we are seeing. But the concern is State Highway 315 to the south of Long Branch and to the southwest of Clayton there. And once again, what the National Weather Service has been telling us is we have seen these debris signatures where the yellows are different from the reds in that cases, but these debris signatures have been showing up all day, and that's bad because, it shows us the trees, other debris, the dirt being lofted up in the air, and that's exactly what we have seen. Now, the good news is, it's not all good news because there are people that do live in this area, but the good news is it's not moving over a populated area. Otherwise, we would be dealing with a little bit of a different situation here. But this will cross County Road, it looks like 164 there, and will continue to track up to the north and to the northeast. But it's to the west of Dotson right now. So we will continue to stay on this storm, and it looks like the presentation, just based on what I've seen in the last 30 or so minutes, it still looks, like it's a little bit messy. Again, we've got, that we have the mugginess out there. We have the humidity. All that Gulf moisture is flowing into these storms, and that's why you have all the noise or all the other storms on the radar. So these storms are basically fighting, to see who can be the strongest. I know that sounds silly, but, in scientific terms, that's kind of what they're doing at this point. And showers and thunderstorms are blossoming all over the place. What that does is these storms really don't have an opportunity to reach their potential and grow to their greatest strength. So hopefully this trend continues. You'll notice the showers and thunderstorms to the south and to the southeast of Dotson and Bryce right there. So we will continue to have to keep a close eye on that. I'm going to go get a drink of water, and meteorologist Andrew Samet is going to take over here for just a little bit.
All right, Carson. So we continue to track these tornado-warned storms across the area. Again, we have that one that includes Dotson. Dotson, you still need to be in your tornado-safe place because, as far as we know, still a confirmed tornado. Just want to mention this tornado warning up here in northern Panola County. The rotation has pretty much gone. Still bringing some strong winds, though. That tornado warning there remains in effect until, let me click on it, until 3 o'clock this afternoon. So in about 15 minutes, this warning will be allowed to expire. Still stay in your tornado safe place in places like DeBerry and Midyet, just in case something spins up really quickly again. But according to the latest from the National Weather Service, it doesn't appear that there is an immediate tornado concern with this storm as well. And looking at velocity, I think that is the case as well. Still some strong winds in northeastern portions of Panola County, though, heading towards the community of Panola and eventually into Bethany. Maybe could see 50 to 60 mile per hour wind gusts there. Taking a look further down at this now confirmed tornado down to the south of the Carthage area, and we will go back down into it. And in terms of the velocity presentation here, not seeing any clear areas of rotation with the greens and reds next to each other. There's perhaps a little bit there south of Branchfield, but doesn't look to be an immediate concern. But so let's take a look at the dual pole data here. This is our debris detector. And again, not really seeing that tornadic debris signature that we were looking at earlier. So that is certainly some good news there with that storm near Dotson. But you can still see the hook is just south of the Long Branch area where the storm takes that hook shape. That will be the greatest potential for a tornado. However, like Carson was mentioning, there are some storms that have developed just south of it, and that may be messing with the inflow winds into the storm itself. So that may help limit the tornado potential out there. But I would say if you're on County Road 160 south of Long Branch, you still need to be in your tornado safe place. This tornado could potentially still be on the ground. It's just not being picked up by radar at this moment. This is traveling up State Highway 315 towards Clayton. Clayton, you are not included in a tornado warning at this time, but I would get into your tornado safe place in Clayton because even if it's not on the ground anymore, certainly it can spin back up very quickly, and the tornado warning does not extend to you just yet. But now start getting ready to take those tornado precautions. Maybe grab a helmet or and shoes as well in case there is some damage out there. But we just got a new radar scan, so let's take a look at velocity. And still not seeing any clear areas of rotation. We'll turn it on to base velocity too. Again, right by County Road 160, just south of Long Branch, right in this area. There may be some very broad rotation there. Certainly, it's not as strong as it was a little bit earlier, but this is traveling just south of State Highway 315, County Road 160 in in Panola County. You need to be in your tornado safe place at this time. Carson?
All right, so just some news on the northern part of the county. It looks like they are canceling the tornado warning there.
All right, so that's some good news for places like DeBerry and Midyet. You can now get out of your tornado safe place if you are still in there. Again, Bethany, Centennial, you still may get some very strong straight line winds with this, but 40, 50 mile per hour winds, certainly a possibility there. So our one tornado warning now is in parts of Rusk County and Panola County as well. Dotson still remain in your tornado safe place for the time being. If you are in Bryce, you are getting some heavy rain for sure, but it looks like the tornado potential in Bryce has been severely limited right now, and so that is some good news out there. But over in the Dotson area, just south of Long Branch, County Road 160, heading towards FM 1971. Again, make sure to be in your tornado safe place. Have they been talking about anything about extending this tornado warning down towards Clayton and places like that?
Just so you know, I'm going to turn on my mic. We are now also canceling the tornado warning from Rusk and southwest Panola County.
Okay, so that's some great news. So Clayton, you can now get out of your tornado safe place. Looks like the tornado threat, the immediate tornado threat is over. However, these still can spin up very quickly again, so still want to stay weather aware. These storms can still do some straight line wind damage. There's no current severe thunderstorm warnings for them, but these storms have had a history of producing 60 mile per hour wind gusts. So with that warning now being canceled, we no longer have any active tornado warnings across the area. So that is some good news. Tornado threat has decreased at the moment. However, there are still numerous storms back out towards our west, heading into Palestine right now. You're seeing some pretty heavy rainfall with this activity. This is also heading towards Elkhart. Your severe thunderstorm warning for Anderson County, that expires at 3 o'clock this afternoon. So in about 12 minutes, you're seeing some heavy rain in Anderson County right now near Palestine, potentially up to 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and maybe quarter-sized hail as well. Further up to the north, Jacksonville, you're not included in any severe thunderstorm warning. However, you are starting to get in on some pretty heavy rainfall, and you could even see some small to medium-sized hail in the Jacksonville area as well, as some of these stronger storms continue to move on through. Further up to the north, White House, you're getting some heavy rain. Chapel Hill, this batch of rain is heading towards Troop, Arp, the Oldham communities, and eventually into Overton, and then New London may get another storm moving in as well. Again, these are below severe limits. They do have a lot of lightning, though. We can hear the thunder very clearly here inside the studio, indicating to us the lightning is very close and is also striking the ground. So frequent cloud-to-ground lightning with these storms that are moving on through. There's just a lot of instability in the atmosphere, and that is leading to some very strong thunderstorms, and that also leads to a ton of lightning. So definitely want to be inside as these storms move on through. Whether or not you're in a warning, lightning is extremely dangerous and one of nature's #1 killers out there. So definitely do not want to be outside in these thunderstorms that are moving through. Further down to the south, we'll take a look at some of these little showers here in parts of Houston and Trinity counties. We haven't really had any concerns of developing storms in this area yet, which is certainly some good news. It is still out ahead of the cold front and the main line of storms, though, so we'll continue to need to watch Deep East Texas very closely as we head throughout the rest of the afternoon. Again, the atmosphere is still very unstable for a large part of Deep East Texas. Central southern Nacogdoches County, Shelby County, San Augustine County, Sabine County, Angelina County, Houston and Trinity counties. Again, you haven't seen many storms yet, but there's still a storm threat coming for those locations. So again, untouched atmosphere right now in terms of rain and storms. High instability, certainly an area that we have to watch closely. You may have been watching this coverage for a while if you're in Lufkin, Nacogdoches, and maybe thinking that you're not getting anything. Yeah, we've got a lot of stuff still off to the west over by the I-45 corridor. So this severe weather threat is not over for us. Tornado threat still continues through at least 6 o'clock this evening when that tornado watch will finally expire. Taking a look further at the storms out west, Madisonville, Centerville, Buffalo area seeing some very heavy rain. No severe thunderstorm warnings down in this part of the storm, so that's some good news. But again, we'll have to continue to track this line as it moves off to the east. Taking a look at a big picture radar here. Again, this storm system has not yet moved through. The low pressure system is up in Oklahoma and Kansas. You can see the wraparound moisture there. And then we've got the showers and storms down here into portions of Arkansas, into northwestern Louisiana, and here into East Texas as well. So again, one severe thunderstorm warning in effect. That is for Anderson County until 3 o'clock this afternoon. It includes the city of Palestine. You are likely getting some pretty heavy rain right now in the Palestine area. And zooming into a couple of spots near Cronin, could be seeing that quarter-sized hail. Definitely has the best potential there. We'll zoom into a couple of spots. This is heading towards Crockett Road in Anderson County. Could see some quarter-sized hail. Also heading towards State Highway 19 south of Palestine and FM 2419 and John Starr Road as well. You could start seeing some quarter-sized hail pretty soon, as you can see where the dark pinks and purples are is where the greatest potential is for that quarter-sized hail right now over top of you in the Cronin area, heading towards Alder Branch and Crystal Lake. Could also see that quarter-sized hail as well. Further to the east now, in the Jacksonville area, Ironton down towards Pierce's Chapel, you are seeing some significant heavy rainfall at this time. So if you are having to travel, again, maybe you have to travel on US 79 towards Palestine from Jacksonville. Try to stay in if you can, but if you absolutely have to, you got to use extreme caution on the roads because, again, there could easily be some ponding on the roadways here. Remember, when you're driving through that heavy rain, to put your headlights on and to leave plenty of space between you and the car in front of you. Again, keeping your headlights on keeps not only you safe, but everyone else around you safe as well. Again, Anderson County still under a severe thunderstorm warning until 3 o'clock this afternoon. Other areas where there's some very heavy rain, just north of Henderson near Oak Hill, you can see where the pinks are. There could be some small to medium-sized hail there heading into the Oak Hill community there. This is in northern Rusk County. And then further to the south and to the east, Carthage, you are starting to get in some heavy rain. Clayton as well, up towards Ryderville and Hudson, Mass. You are also continuing to see that heavy rainfall out there. Taking a look at velocity, let's see if anything is of concern for us. Again, this was the area where we were seeing that tornado on the ground earlier. Right now, not seeing any rotational concerns at this point in our wind detector here. So there's several other methods, though, that we can look at, including shear rate. Again, the brighter green's indicating the stronger wind shear. It's not really strong enough to indicate a tornado concern, but you may be seeing some stronger winds over on County Road 114, heading towards FM 10, towards the Pleasant Ridge area, and eventually into Carthage as well. Carthage, you're not under any type of warning at this time. These storms are still rowdy, though. They have a lot of lightning with them, heavy rain, and still some gusty winds out there. So if you are in Carthage, again, make sure to just try to be inside if you can.